Okay, so we're looking at adjusting for white balance problems. So when you shoot, you're supposed to set your camera up to calibrate for the color of the light that you're shooting in. Now, typically, this will involve daylight and indoor lighting, and it could involve daylight um, coming into the camera, but the camera could be set up for tungsten light, for example. Okay, so you might have set your camera to 32K, but the light coming in is actually 56K. So what do? You have two options here. In the basic correction tab under color, you have a color picker, which allows you to reset the white balance. So on the day, we would have been looking at this here, and this would have probably been a neutral white color. So because it has a blue tint on it now, if we click on it, it will reset that to neutral white. It will add in some red, it'll add in some green to try and counterbalance the blue that's in there, and it will do the same for the rest of the image and kind of calibrate that as well. So if we click on it, you'll see that it warms it up, gives us back our skin tones, and the red of the hair comes back in as well. Okay, now this is kind of a one-click thing, and sometimes it does the job, but you can also use the sliders. So here we can see we have a temperature issue. So when we're talking about daylight versus tungsten, we're talking about temperature, and we can drag the slider to the right to warm it up and to balance out for that blue color bias. Now, I don't have an image to represent the following, but if you had a shot that was taken under fluorescent light or tube lighting, such as we have in the TV studio in the college, that burns at a particular temperature. Certain burn at green, some at a more purplish tint, and then this will allow you to drag that across. So think of it as two different sliders for two different situations. The top one is more for daylight versus tungsten light, and the second one is for LED fluorescent bulbs and things like that. So if the top one isn't working for you, it may mean that you need to go for the tint instead. Now, the saturation, you could change here if this was the end of your workflow, but there are better tools down here under the Creative tab for doing that.